The full moon had always meant fear in the village. As the night of Purnima arrived, doors were bolted shut, lamps were dimmed, and even the wind seemed to move cautiously. For 10 consecutive years, a young woman had vanished on the same night. No bodies were ever found, no screams were heard, and no clues were left behind. The police dismissed it as coincidence, but the villagers knew better. This year, a journalist named Aditya arrived, determined to uncover the truth. He listened to warnings with polite smiles, convinced that superstition could not overpower reason. As midnight approached, the moon hung low and unnaturally bright. Drawn by an unseen force, Aditya walked toward the village pond. The air felt heavy and the sound of insects faded into silence. Near the water stood a woman dressed in a white sari, her long hair loose and unmoving despite the breeze. He called out to her, but she did not turn. When she finally faced him, his blood ran cold. Her face belonged to a girl who had disappeared 5 years earlier. Unchanged by time or death, the surface of the pond began to ripple without movement. A whisper echoed in Aditya's ears, telling him that the night was incomplete. The woman spoke softly, explaining that on the full moon, souls returned to finish what was left undone. She revealed that the missing girls all shared a resemblance to her, chosen so she could relive her final night through them. Aditya stepped back in horror, realizing he had walked into a ritual older than the village itself. Suddenly, the woman split into 2 identical figures. One smiled with unsettling calm, while the other wept silently. The crying figure warned him that appearances lied, and truth often hid behind reflection. The moonlight intensified, casting sharp shadows on the ground. Aditya tried to run, but his shadow lagged behind, stretching unnaturally toward the pond. At dawn, villagers found Aditya alive but broken near the water's edge. He never spoke of what he saw. He abandoned journalism entirely, choosing to remain in the village. Every full moon he returns to the pond and speaks to someone no one else can see, his shadow always standing slightly apart from him. Chandramukhi Haveli stood abandoned at the edge of the forest, crumbling by day and glowing by night. Locals claimed that on full moon nights the mansion awakened. 4 friends, Aman, Rohan, Shia, and Neil, decided to explore it, dismissing the rumors as exaggerated folklore. As the moon rose, the mansion's broken windows reflected silver light, making the structure appear alive. The moment they stepped inside, the air grew warmer, and the scent of jasmine filled the halls. Dusty chandeliers shimmered as if recently polished. Footsteps echoed, though no one else was there. Laughter drifted through the corridors, soft and inviting. She noticed mirrors lining the walls, each reflecting slightly delayed movements. The deeper they ventured, the more real the mansion felt, as though it were remembering its past. In the central hall, they encountered a woman with a calm smile and moon-like eyes. She welcomed them, claiming she had waited years for company. She spoke of loneliness and betrayal, of being abandoned within these walls during her final night. As the moon reached its peak, doors slammed shut, and the mansion's beauty decayed instantly into rot and darkness. The woman revealed the truth. She was bound to the mansion, cursed to relive her suffering every full moon. Freedom could only come if someone replaced her. Panic spread as shadows detached from their bodies, crawling across the floor. The walls seemed to breathe, tightening around them. In the chaos, Neil was pulled toward the mirrors, his reflection smiling while he screamed. When dawn arrived, Aman, Rohan, and Sia stumbled out, shaken and silent. Behind them, Chandramukhi Haveli returned to ruins. On the cracked mirror inside, a new reflection smiled patiently, waiting for the next full moon. The man spoke to his shadow every full moon night. Neighbors believed he was mad, whispering to the darkness as the moonlight followed him. His shadow moved strangely, stretching too far, bending at impossible angles. On one full moon, witnesses saw the shadow step away from him entirely. That night, fear spread through the town. The man's past slowly surfaced. Years earlier, he had committed a brutal murder and escaped punishment. The victim's body was never found, and the crime faded into rumor. But guilt had roots deeper than memory. Under the full moon, the shadow began speaking back, accusing him of cowardice and betrayal. It claimed to be the soul of the one he killed, bound to him until justice was served. Each month, the shadow grew darker and stronger. Objects moved on their own, lights shattered, and cold followed him everywhere. The man tried fleeing the town, but the shadow always arrived before him. It reminded him that truth could not outrun the moon. On the final full moon, the shadow stood upright, taking a human shape. It demanded confession. As the moonlight burned bright, the man screamed and fell to his knees, admitting his crime. The ground beneath him cracked, and the shadow merged back into him with a piercing scream. The next morning his body was found lifeless. His shadow burned permanently into the ground beside him. The town learned that spirits do not forgive, and under the full moon, guilt always finds its voice.